Hello and welcome to week 6. Before I begin the announcement, I really just want to thank you all for your papers about Daryl and Samar. I've taught this class before, and I can say with all honesty that this group of students, you all, your responses were so insightful, oftentimes profound, and extremely culturally competent. It was just such a pleasure to read it. And so I really do appreciate the work that you're putting into this course. Oftentimes, this is a course that students can they feel like they can dial in or they don't have to do the readings. And I've just been extremely heartened and just very overwhelmed in a positive way as an instructor with the work that you all are putting in. So thank you for that. In week 6, we're going to be looking at spirituality and counseling, and our quote comes from Ellen Bass, but it's one of my most favorite quotes. Now, I haven't read anything by Ellen Bass. That quote actually came out of this text, The Wisdom of the Enneagram, which in all of your free time, if you have time, I encourage you to look into that, especially if you are into personality assessments. This is a spiritual and psychological personality assessment. But in the Enneagram, it holds multiple quotes, and one of the quotes is from Ellen Bass, talking about spirituality, this desire into becoming yourself. When we think about spirituality and counseling, it's almost been a little bit of an inimical relationship. There are those who didn't even want to bring up religion or spirituality and counseling or in therapy. In fact, I believe it was Karl Marx who said that religion was the opium for the people. And so there has been some friction, with religion and talk therapy. But I would encourage you all, if your client has a belief system, their belief system, be it God, a higher power, Mother Earth, whomever, this is something that is with this client always. This is an entity, a being, a presence that this client will draw upon. And so anytime we can incorporate this into therapy, I think is a plus for the client. Just two small examples. For example, I've had clients, and you have some articles about the LGBT community and spirituality. I've had clients who've been encouraged to pray the gay away. I had a client who was in a very deeply unsatisfying marriage who was thinking about purchasing a sex toy because she had not been touched by her husband in many years, but was ashamed of what God would think of her. And so that's what I mean by the higher power being with the client. And sometimes we've had clients who've had very disturbing and disruptive experiences in the religious community, and we've had clients who have had healing and welcoming experiences. And so again, anytime we can bring that into the conversation, I think is a plus. So that's going to be your work this week. You have a quiz. It's 6 questions. You get 2 attempts on it, and so do that. You also have a discussion that sometimes challenges students. So again, the topic is spirituality and counseling, and it really does address some issues that can present itself in our therapeutic practice. The last thing you have due is a draft of your final project. Now it says a paper or an outline, but I really, really strongly encourage you all. Your 2 case studies, and you have to choose from one. They're both extremely complex cases. And so as much as you can put into that draft, that is as much as I will grade and give you feedback on. And so I often encourage students, even if you want to, I strongly encourage you to look at the final project rubric so that when you are writing your draft, you can begin to hit some of those critical elements to make sure, or if you're questioning anything, put it in the draft and stick it in the paper, and I'm happy to give you guys feedback on that. So that's your work for week 6. Let me know if you have any questions. For you personality assessment geeks, if you want to know more about the Enneagram, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's been such a pleasure working with you all this term. Again, thank you for your responses to Daryl and Samar. Have a good week.